Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a loot video on nightmare creatures. We're going to be killing 1,000 of them and showcasing the loot. These are pretty good creatures to kill. They do have a lot of really good drops on their drop table, but they also do have the nightmare gauntlets, which are worth nearly 50 mil. Now the drop rate is quite rare. It's 1 in 10,000 while off task, and we are going to be doing all of these kills off task. So hopefully we do get lucky and get those. It's going to be about a 10% chance to get one in this loot video, but of course that would help a lot with the total loot. Now if you guys do enjoy this type of loot video, hit that thumbs up button so I know to make more of them. Loot videos are something I do sort of like the idea of, and I would like to make more of them, so let me know if you guys enjoy them as well, and let's get into the video. So starting off with just some basic information about nightmare creatures. So first off, there are a few requirements to kill these creatures. They do require level 80 Slayer, as well as the Children of Ma quest. And of course, there are quite a few prerequisite quests that come along with this as well, so you will need to complete those also. Now, recommended is 90 plus magic, as well as 95 prayer and 95 herblore for the curses and overloads. I highly recommend having both curses and overloads, since the nightmare creatures, they do hit pretty hard. So it is going to be really important to deal as much damage as possible. We're also going to be using the Uldat coil. You can use the cannon as well. However, the Uldat coil is actually a bit better. That is because you can use blood barrage, and then the Uldat coil will actually heal some life points for you as well. So that is a nice little bonus if you are using the Uldat coil. Also, the Vampirism Aura is super helpful here, since they do deal a lot of damage. You're going to need as much health as possible. Now, looking at my setup for these 1,000 kills, as you can see, I am using Virtus as well as the Inquisitor's Staff. So the nightmare creatures, they are melee-based creatures, so the Inquisitor's Staff is going to be basically a tier 97 weapon. However, they do have range special attacks, so I will be praying deflect from missiles. Also, as you can see, I am using the Cinderbane gloves. I actually did switch out the Amulet of Souls with the Blood Amulet of Fury. You can kind of interchange both of those. And then also my Illuminated God Book, I do have that in, but you can switch that out for the Sign of the Porters if you want to bank all of the Muspah spines that they do drop as well for some extra profit. You can alch them for about 5k each, and then you can also make them into Nightmare Muspah pouches as well, and you do make some profit off that. Listed at 18k profit if you do sell it for the Grand Exchange price. However, I believe the Nightmare Muspah pouches do sell for a bit below that. I am also going to be using the Uldat coil. I do have a ton of cannonballs, so we shouldn't run out. I'm also using my Enhanced Excalibur, which is extremely important here. It's really nice getting that extra health every 5 minutes. I'm going to be using a yak as well as a bunch of food, and we're probably going to need to go bank probably at least once every hour just to get more food, because you will need to eat it with this setup. Now, there is also another setup that you can go with. You can go with the tier 85 Sea Singer armor, which is the magic-based tank armor. This is really helpful here at Nightmare Creatures, because you really do want to take the least amount of damage as possible. So tank armor is pretty viable here. So if you do have Sea Singer's armor, you can bring that. Unfortunately, I don't have it, so I'm just going to be bringing my Virtus. So first off, getting to the nightmare creatures, they are located within the World Gate. You're going to want to go to Frenesque and then go to the ritual site, and that is where the nightmare creatures are located. Now, once you get here, I did find that the best spot to place the cannon or the Uldat coil is right around here. It does get you about 2 or 3 of the nightmare creatures on you at once, so it's not too much, but it's also not too little, so you get a decent amount of kills per hour. Over my 1,000 kills, I did find I was killing right around 200 of these nightmare creatures per hour, which is pretty decent. That means it took about 5 hours to complete the 1,000 kills. The nightmare creatures really did hit quite hard, and I did have to eat a lot of food. And basically, the Vampirism Aura always needed to be on, or I was eating food a bit too fast. So I would recommend that if you do have the Sea Singer's armor, then I would recommend using that. That is a pretty good option to use at the nightmare creatures, especially if you are using this Uldat coil setup, because you will get a lot of nightmare creatures on you at once. and they do deal a lot of damage. And as for the actual mechanics from the Nightmare creatures, as I mentioned, they do attack in a melee-based style, so you will be taking damage from that because you do need to use Deflect from Missiles, which is the ranged-based protection prayer. That is because their special attack does deal range damage and it hits really hard, so you will want that on at all times. And then as for the magic spell, I decided to use Blood Barrage because again, it does heal you a little bit of health, and it actually stacks with the Uldak Coil as well. And so halfway through our 1,000 kills, I want to do a brief breakdown of what we got so far. As you can see, about 16.6 mil so far. That's not counting the Muspah spines as well. And we have been picking those up with the Sign of the Porters, aside from our first trip where we didn't end up doing that. As you can see, most of the money so far has came off the Elder Energy, as well as some of the Ruined Salvage. Haven't got the Nightmare Gauntlets yet, but let's move on to the next 500 kills. And so we ended up finishing the 1,000 kills, actually got 1,001 kills. As you can see, the estimated loot based on my Rune Metrics tracker was 33.2 million, so it looks like at 500 kills we basically did make the same amount for the second half of the kills. Didn't get any Nightmare Gauntlets, unfortunately, but as you can see, we did get 568 Muspah spines, which you can then convert into some extra money. You can either alch them for 5,000 gold coins, or you can also turn them into Muspah pouches. Now looking at the actual loot in game, as you can see, it's estimated about 32.3 million. So it does look like the Rune Metrics was off by about 1 million. But overall, we made about 32.3 mil, which is really great for 1,000 kills of Nightmare creatures. Now we're going to move on to what you can actually do with the Muspah spines, and then we're going to go into a final loot breakdown. So as I mentioned, you can do multiple things with these Muspah spines. You can turn them into the Nightmare creature pouches, and all you need is the Elder Charms as well as some Elder Energy. So I'm going to make a few of those and see what they sell for on the Grand Exchange. And then we're also probably going to alch some as well if they don't sell for the listed Grand Exchange price. So it does look like the Nightmare Muspah pouches are selling for about 52k each, so we're going to be making about 7k profit on each of these Nightmare spines. So that's overall about an extra 4 mil profit added on to our 32 million, putting us up to about 36 million profit on these 1,000 kills. So as you can see, the XP breakdown, we got nearly 2 million magic XP, and this equates to about 400k XP per hour if you're killing about 200 of these Muspahs per hour. And then the Constitution XP, we got about 645k for about 130k XP per hour. Then the GP, we made about 36 million, and this is also about 7 million GP per hour, so they are a pretty good creature to kill. Now this is basically just the revenue, so I'm not taking into account the costs. So for example, the cannonballs and the divine charges. I'm going to estimate I used about 7,000 cannonballs and about 3 million worth of divine charges. So I'm going to estimate the costs were about 5 million. So putting us down to about 31 million. So I'd say that overall profit per hour from Nightmare creatures are 6 million GP per hour, which is pretty good since they are semi-AFK. You do need to pay somewhat attention to it because they do hit quite hard at times. But overall, this is a really great creature to kill. This isn't even taking into account the Nightmare Gauntlets as well, because obviously if you get one of those, they're worth 50 mil, and they will increase your GP per hour drastically. Anyway guys, that is it for today's loot video. If you guys do enjoy these loot videos, let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to hit that like button so I know to make more of them. And I really hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.